G'day, Arm Wrestling World. We've got another big match coming up this weekend. It is definitely worthy of a very significant talking point. It's none other than the greatest arm wrestler of all time, John Brzenk. He's taking on one of the guys that is the future of the heavyweight division. Corey West is the man I'm talking about. And this is a particularly fascinating match for a number of reasons, none less than the fact that Corey West is on a charge. Corey West has just recently competed at King of the Table 4 where he took on Alex Cadecha. Now, despite taking the loss, he looked phenomenal. Now, of course, John Brzenk, he is kind of, where is he? He's like, what? I don't know. Is he 12 months in? I don't know. He's about 12 months into his comeback. Of course, John retired from the sport in 2015. And he did so on the end of winning a WAL title at the 220-pound class. He then retired. He then said, okay, I'm done. But you know what? He came back. And not only did he come back, he's come back in such a manner where he's now making a very significant charge. He's had more super matches than anybody else in professional arm wrestling in the last 12 months. And he's making a charge once again. People say that it's impossible. But look, anything's possible with John. John Brzenk is making a charge. He's currently knocking on the door of the top 10 overall ranks in arm wrestling. And he's currently knocking on the door of the number one rank arm wrestling at 110 kilos. Those matches are to come. But in this instance, he's taking on Corey West. Now, Corey West is, I think, the heaviest. I think I'm correct in saying that. He's the heaviest of professional arm wrestlers in the top 20 ranks within the world. Now, Corey West himself, very close. He's right on the edge of that top 10. He's somewhere very close. He lost to Alex Cadecha, but the way he looked in that opening round looked phenomenal. The match was drawn out, I think, under other circumstances. It could have easily gone the other way. And Alex Cadecha is someone who is ranked 4 through to 7 on any given day on the overall world ranks in the current climate. Now, Corey West looked phenomenal. If we look at some of his other matches, what he did to Krasimir Kostadinov was crazy. Krasimir Kostadinov described Corey West as something that he'd never felt before. A different level of access or of denial of his power. Corey West was truly just far too good for Krasimir. Absolutely stomping him. Now, this is a really interesting point because Krasimir Kostadinov and John Brzenk, they're not too dissimilar in terms of the way that they threaten an opponent. Krasimir Kostadinov, about 105 kilos. John Brzenk, I think at the moment about 108, 110 maybe if he's pushing it. But they both have a similar style. They're both very hand-control driven, rotation-based arm wrestlers. Krasimir Kostadinov got really annihilated by Corey West outside of the straps. He was unable to get to the straps. However, this is John Brzenk that we're talking about. This is the upgraded version. And when I say upgraded, of course, John is the greatest arm wrestler of all time. And why is he that? He is that because of his hand strength. His combination of wrist flexion and pronation really do set him apart in the arm wrestling world. And it's those strengths that made him the man that he is. Size has never been an issue for John. He's taken on monsters throughout his career, which spans some 40 years of dominance in the sport. And he's never had a problem. He's beaten people like Denis Saplenkov. He's beaten people like Richard Lupkes. He's beaten people like the 600-pound Cleve Dean. Size has never been an issue for John, and he's always done it from that position of sort of 90 to 105 kilos has been the zone that we've seen him in over the last 40 years. Now, with where John is at right now, it's safe to say that he is strong. He's not fast, and we see a more defensive style of arm wrestling from him. If we look at his matches against people like Chance Shaw, who is another big up-and-comer, we'll see defensive, top-rolling, getting a stop, taking control. Same thing against Dimitri Kachan. We do see more aggression from John as he started to get that ramp-up going again in his comeback, where we saw him demolish people like Hadzimur Zaloyev, who in his own right is an all-time great in the sport. John really did stamp himself. The only loss John has taken in the last 12 months is to Devin Larratt at King of the Table 3, I think it was. But that one, you can kind of forgive him for it. Devin was huge. Devin was prepared. But other than that, John has been on a tear. John's looking good. John in the East versus West side of things is, as I said, he's prepping for a shot at the number 1 rank for 110 kilos. He has Kirigali Ongaboyev of Kazakhstan up next. And if he is successful there, he'll face the winner of Todd Hutchins v. Prudnik. And the winner of all that is crowned the number 1 rank in the world at the 110 kilo class. So John is right there. John is coming back. Now, when we look at this match, it's really interesting because this is... You have to say Corey probably has the power to just get a victory. If we look back at what Corey did to Todd Hutchins in round 1, Corey West... Okay, Todd Hutchins then found the groove, disengaged. Corey's evolved from then. He's taking things very seriously in his progression. You have to say, from what we've seen from Corey doing to Alex in round 1 and what Corey did to Krasimir in the whole match, you have to say he has the power to finish John. I don't think John can just simply overpower him in that sense. But what John possesses that Corey doesn't is just a completely developed set of weapons, counterattacks, defensive bleeds, all those things. John really is the greatest arm wrestler of all time for that reason. He can go anywhere. He's conditioned across the board. His strength is immense in every position. And his intuition, his timing, and execution is perfect. I expect Corey West to come out of the gates hard on this one. And I think that he really genuinely does have the chance to win round 1. I think you'll see that nod from John of like, oh my goodness, okay, yeah, there it is. But then look to see John come alive. Then look to see John start to reach into his bag of tricks and start to throw things at Corey that Corey just isn't ready for. Expect light pressures in the setup perhaps and defensive top rolls, maybe deep hooks. Okay. John wants to get this into a hand battle. John respects Corey's hand, no doubt. And I've heard John in the past make comments that Corey's hand is phenomenally impressive when they've gripped on the side table. But John is the GOAT. John's hand is different. John will look to take the battle straight to Corey in that regard. He needs to if he is to defeat Corey because Corey's coming with so much size, with so much power that if he doesn't, he may be in trouble. But look, betting against the GOAT is a wild, wild thing. It's incredibly dangerous thing to do. In my opinion, I have to go with the GOAT on this one. I believe John Brzenk will win it somewhere around the 3-1 mark. Corey West will put up a great battle, and I think he will continue on his path. But I think still John Brzenk is ahead, and I think this will solidify John's position within the top 10 ranks in the world. It's going to be good ones coming up this weekend. I'll probably do a live commentary for it as well. If you guys want to come and hang out here with me, that'll be awesome. Might get a few other arm wrestlers in to do it as well. But guys, let me know what you think. Who's taking this one? John, Corey, it is going to be a fantastic match. It's this weekend, so we don't have to wait long. But anyway, guys, hope you're well. Big one coming up. The GOAT versus Corey West.